My name is Mary Ellen Crace, and I am the Prevention and Outreach Program Manager for St. Mary's County Health Department under the Behavioral Health Division. The mission of the health department here in St. Mary's County, Maryland, is to, under prevention services, is to prevent and reduce um, the use of substances, and including underage drinking and binge drinking. So those are focuses in our under our prevention programs. Some of the roles of driver safety and education that are played in our job would be to provide driver safety education programs that are key in teaching young drivers about the experience and dangers of driving under the influence of substances. The types of driver safety education programs that we've tried in the past have included drunk goggles or marijuana goggles to sort of simulate doing a task that would be under the influence of those substances. So what got us interested in the simulation-based driver training program was that we received money from the Maryland Department of Transportation. So we were looking into how we could make a better experience for students to be able to have that experience of driving under the influence. Some of the other options, or what we considered when working with students out in the community, we looked at community partners, so who would be appropriate for that, our target audience, locations, venues, and what would be the best way to reach out to the student population and young people that we were trying to reach. When we first used DriveSquare services, it began about 3 years ago, and we were able to do that during our project graduation events. This was in conjunction during COVID, but we were able to make adjustments and be with the outdoor activities, and DriveSquare was able to accommodate those any changes that we had to make accordingly. The our initial experience we thought was very impressive and realistic. So the technology was very up to date, and it really gave students a hands-on and real-world visual experience. And over time, the students and our community partners have been able to share this information word of mouth. And so now they're able to recognize these simulators at different community events, and they are very excited to participate in that, and they really enjoy the experience, including any teachers or administrators in schools that we are working with as community partners and working with the students. Customer support experience with DriveSquare has been excellent. They are always very helpful and very accommodating to any location that we may choose. Project graduation is over a period of 4 nights, so they were able to accommodate that by coming on the 4 consecutive nights and participate in the project graduation for each of our high schools. So the trainees are really impressed with the program. They always have good things to say. They feel like it's a real life experience and the scenarios are real life. The expert trainers provide fantastic instruction and listen to the feedback from the students. We have collected pre and post data, so prior to the student actually experience the simulation, we have them do a pre-survey, and then when they complete it, we will have them do a post-survey. And any student that serves as a passenger, so maybe they're not actually doing the driving experience, but maybe sitting in the back seat of the car or watching it on the monitor, we would have them do a passenger survey, just recording their experience as well. We feel like our organization has benefited from DriveSquare products because it strengthens our community partner relationships and offers students a new experience. So after the past few years, we have, and also through the trials and tribulations of the pandemic, we were able to offer these in-person experiences to the community, and it's viewed as an important contribution of prevention and substance use prevention among students, parents, and community partners. And also Maryland Department of Transportation has continually funded the program. They strongly believe in it. So they are impressed with our numbers and the results of our surveys. In-person simulation makes a huge difference for trying to improve safety efforts, driver safety, by offering students a hands-on experience and getting direct feedback. We will continue this type of program with our students because we find it effective and we feel like that interaction with them allows them to acquire the skills they need to make appropriate decisions about driving. Students, of course, in this day and age, really connect with the virtual experience because they're so used to growing up with video games, right? They're digital their whole lives. So this type of experience they can really relate to. And, you know, if you're from a different generation, you may not connect as well because you are maybe used to in-person types of things or other types of, you know, training experiences. For them, I feel like this is something that they can totally relate to because they have grown up in that virtual and digital world. Typically, Maryland Department of Transportation, National Traffic Highway Safety would be a big funding source for Maryland Department of Transportation. I don't know what percentage of their budget, of course, but you know, that would be something that they could offer grants to local jurisdictions. So that's how we ended up with the funding. So yes, it would be channeled down through federal sources. And you know, seems to be something they totally approve of. They are excited about the project, and they have shared that, you know, they have also looked at other jurisdictions and having them participate in this type of training as well for other Maryland jurisdictions. Our Cannabis and Alcohol Coalition, our focus is on youth and young adults and reducing substance use and alcohol use, and so reducing traffic accidents in the community. So it's tied very closely to working with our community partners within the coalition. So that includes law enforcement, even our alcohol beverage board, retailers. So we work closely because our number one concern, obviously, is community safety. So this works well with our goals and objectives related to our coalition and the work that we do through that. So it's really tied very much to that coalition. Some of the other things we do, and we've had the DUI simulator at our four-year college, and we also promote sober events. So it ties, as I said, very nicely to a good understanding for young people and college students as well, to be able to understand that you know, driving under the influence is not a good idea, and then exploring, you know, or offering other resources and options for them. So yeah, I feel like it ties very well into the education of young people and young drivers, especially, who may consider, you know, driving under the influence. I feel like using DriveSquare for public health purposes and anyone who works in substance use prevention is effective because we do a lot of outreach in the community. So this is a good way to do that outreach. You have the exposure, and also it's a good bang for your buck. So if you have, as you know, most government agencies, we work on limited budgets. So I feel like, you know, it does go far. We are able to connect with hundreds of students. So yeah, I feel like as far as that goes, and being able to have that connection with the students is going to make a huge difference. And instead of doing something like handing them a brochure or showing them a PowerPoint, you know, this is far more effective and I think cost effective as well. Our pre and post survey really send the message back to us that the students get it. So they have a good understanding. Although they think it might be kind of a fun thing to do the simulation, they, you know, the main point still comes across is that they know I don't want to drive under the influence because look what happens. You know, as the consequences are there. They may have a traffic accident. They may, you know, end up dead. They may kill someone else. So, you know, that's the kind of feedback. Although they have a range of sort of from excitement to nervousness, or, wow, this is kind of just getting that message across that they really understand what the consequences can be if they're driving under the influence.